Hello, my name is Davine and I teach at Wallington County Grammar School. I'm the only food technology teacher in the school, so I teach all the students. I'm really bad with names, so I really struggle because I need to learn lots of names, and the kids find it funny sometimes when I've been teaching them for over a year and I still can't remember their names. So this is a photo of our school. Our motto is through difficulties to the heights. So we ensure that all students try to approach their difficulties and we support them to ensure that they achieve the best. We've got about 1,100 students on roll, and we have students from 11 to 18. So it's an all boys school and it's a selective grammar school. So students have to take a test to be selected to join the school. So we've got high achieving students. Not all students would have had an opportunity to do any sort of cooking lessons or even cook at home before they come to the school. So hence in year 7, we've got to take a basic approach and ensure that all the students learn the basic skills to develop. When it gets to sixth form, that would be year 12 and 13, we have girls that join the schools. Can you imagine? All boys and then girls get introduced. So yeah, they're all excited to see the girls and it makes the atmosphere really good for them as well. So in year 7 and 8, all students study food technology. So I teach all 300 students and they have a lesson once a fortnight, and we rotate between practical and theory lessons. When they get to year 9, they can choose food technology as an option subject, and then they do that at GCSE. They also have opportunities to do more, enhance their cooking skills. So we've got after school club and they can sign up to join that, and then we do quick activities after school and they get to taste stuff. We also have an enrichment program. So like 3 days at the end of term, there's no lessons being taught and students get to sign up to activities, and we get the opportunity to have the fun team there as well to come and demonstrate some Chinese cooking, and the kids really enjoy that. And there are some photos of dishes that we prepare. Thank you.
Nice.
Where ingredients come from. So it could be basic, like just getting them to understand that the eggs actually came from the chicken and stuff like that, so they can start to make connections from a really early age. Then we move on to key stage 2, which is age 6 to 11 and year 3 to 6. So they still do that, but now they get to understand a bit more about seasonality, because at different times during the year, you've got different products that are available. And in theory, it's best to eat things when they're in season because you get the best quality. Oh, sorry. Also, the aim, because there's issues around like obesity and other health-related illness, the national curriculum tends to promote predominantly savory dishes. We are allowed to teach some sweet dishes, but you've also got to push the healthy aspect to it. So for example, I'll teach the students how to make a basic cupcake, and then I'll challenge them to make a healthier version of it. So it could be adding like dried fruits, or adding like wholemeal flour, or adding something to it to improve the nutritional quality of the dish. At key stage 3, that's when they get to year high school.
Okay.
So we do lots of stuff, and we also start to introduce the science behind food. So it's not just cooking the food and eating it. They get to understand why ingredients behave the way they do, and then that will help them to understand how they can adopt decisions, substitute ingredients. And that's covered between year 7 to 8, or sometimes year 9. So some schools, key stage 3 is year 7 and 8. Like my school, it's 7 and 8, and then in year 9 they choose their options, and that becomes key stage 4. But in some other schools, key stage 3 is actually still in year 9. Then when you get on to key stage 4, this is where they choose it as an option, whether they've got an interest. They don't all have to want to have a career in the food industry. It's just an interest and they want to develop their skills. So basically we cover food commodities, principles of nutrition, diet and good health, the science behind food, where food comes from, and cooking and food preparation. And with these topics, that's how they're assessed. So we've got 2 controlled assessment. That would be like coursework. So if you've got to do anything before you sit down and write an exam. So one of them is all around the science of food. So they'll give them a topic, say for example, exploring the best flour for bread making. So you'll do quite a few experiments to establish the best flour for bread making. From your theory lesson, you would already know that strong flour is the best flour for bread, but you're going to disprove all the other types of flour, why they're not the best one. It's because of the amount of protein in there, but you're going to do mini experiments to show why cake flour doesn't make the best bread. We all know some of them will fail, but you still have to prove that they're going to fail and why they fail because you understand the science behind it. There's also a practical assessment. So you, for example, plan, prepare, and cook. Plan, prepare, cook, and present a selection of dishes to meet a criteria. So it could be a specific diet or a specific meal type celebration. So they've got to do lots of research and then plan, and then a 3-hour session where they actually make the dish, and then the teachers actually sit there and assess them, and then we send their portfolio off. And that covers 50% of their final marks. And then they've got to go off and do a written exam on the exam condition to get the other 50% of the marks. So you could potentially go into the exam with up to 50 marks already. I'm not even sure what grade that would be equivalent to, a C or a D. Yeah, so you could easily go into the exam with a good chunk of your mark, and that would reduce the amount of stress that you encounter. So one of the main aims to ensure that the students are able to do this practical examination, we're building on their skills. So when they're in younger years, say for example, they're cooking with protein, for example, chicken, they'll go to the shop and they'll buy the part of the chicken that they need to use. When they get to GCSE year now, we try to get them to join the whole chicken. So they'll buy a whole chicken and we teach them how to cut it into different pieces. And that way you're proving that skill, so you tend to get higher marks. If you go into the exam, for example, and you buy anything that's ready-made or something that you could potentially make, you're lowering your mark score. So if we look at, say, chicken Caesar salad, are you guys familiar with chicken Caesar salad? It looks something like that. So that's like lettuce, cheese, bread, croutons, and then you've got the chicken on the top, and then you've got a dressing. So if you make all the different elements, and it's got to be executed very well, not just make it and it doesn't come out well. You've got to execute it very well, and then you get the higher marks.